Hello and welcome to the Duelist 44410, and today we are covering 15 tips to make your build look better. So first, here we have a pretty simple starter house. I mean, if you can't get to this point, you need to, well, learn to get to that point. But this is pretty simple, just a rectangle, cobblestone on the parts there. But this is a very default, minimal depth build. So there's a lot of things that need to happen here. I mean, the sides, they have, they're not exactly pretty. So we're jumping in here with tip number 1, which is, let's say you had a more beaten, old base. Then what you want to do is you can use spruce stairs to add little divots and holes in your base without making them too apparent or large. So do stuff like that, maybe that. Now you're starting to get like these little things like that, and it's starting to look more like this part of the house has been through some stuff. And then if you wanted to make it look kind of abandoned or something like that, just add some cobwebs, and that's adding a decent amount of detail there. Or if you just want it to look a bit more weary and old, then you can do something like that. For step number 2, we're doing a bit of leafage on the roof. This depends. If you're on a desert, obviously don't do this unless it's supposed to be like an oasis type thing. But then you can add, like, I prefer azaleas, but you can mix other leaves in there as well. But azaleas tend to look the best. But if you don't have access to azalea or would rather use a different leaf, judging by your different area, then you might want to try something that either corresponds with your area, or doing birch, because birch also looks good. That's what I used before we had azalea, because that's the second best leaf in the game behind azalea. So that would be my suggestion. You can kind of make it look overgrown, viney. Not doing the best right now, but hopefully you kind of get the gist of it. It's basically placing down leaves and different formations, kind of what you would do for like a weeping willow tree. You kind of just want to weep it over the edges, like I am here. So, as you can see, when I back up, it's kind of overgrowing, adding a bit of depth along with color, kind of drawing your eyes towards that, making it look overgrown. It could really pair well with the divots making it look overgrown and abandoned. So, yeah, if you made an abandoned barn building type thing like with that, it could look really, really cool. Tip number 3 is to use lanterns rather than torches. They look so much better. They just have so much more character character to them, and they're much more believable on a house than a bunch of torches thrown about. They just look so much better. And it's not even that expensive. Just a couple iron nuggets. So I think it's just, for one, it's 1 iron ingot. So you could have a stack of them, which is a stack of iron, which is not by any means hard to get. So, yeah, simple step, but good step. So for our 4th step tip thing, it's little planters. And I'm not sure if you have access to it in your world, but Podzol, however you pronounce it, it looks like mulch, and it can be a really good planter base. And then you can do these on the sides of your buildings. Maybe do like a little garden. You could even make it like an actual garden where you grow actual plants. I'm not sure if, yeah, I did do this right. And then the orchards, best one in the game. You can do a little bit of separating there. I'll place one of those somewhere just to get some of the particles going around. I guess you could count that as a bonus tip right there. I mean, just it kind of looks like leaves, or if you got like a texture pack or something, made a texture pack that could make those pink, oh, it would look so good. I really would love a texture pack to make those pink. It would be so great. But that concludes step number 4. Tip number 5. Every good base has to have a custom tree. Now, I'm not going to do some huge tutorial on how to do them. I'm just going to, because everyone has their different taste in what custom tree and just how to do them. So I'm not going to be telling anyone exactly how to do it or anything like that. But if you need to have, you need to have one, no matter how you build it. It's just one of those things, you gotta have it if you really want to have a respectable base. Don't look at my other series, I do not build them, and these are probably later on, I'm sorry. The other ones, I need to probably actually do stuff in them more. I don't know. When I'm recording, I don't have nearly as much strength to do that kind of stuff. But I'd rather just do other things. But, it's fine. It's still, I don't really think any of my bases in those are actually respectable. So, my statement is still fair. Any of them without a custom tree, of course. If I put one in any of them that I just am blanking on, then in that case, yeah, that one is respectable. But there's a lot of custom tree tutorials. If you need some help on one, I might release one eventually here. Oh no, this is a horrible custom tree. This is absolutely horrendous. I am sorry. I forgot some of the blocks I needed. Ugh. It's not. What I can say is, for the Weeping Willow, what I'm doing here is you want to kind of have not too many on the top, but you make sure that they there's a decent amount of dripping, and you also don't want them to be around the same height too much, because if they are, then it looks like you're merging leafage and stuff like that, and that just doesn't look good. So I'm gonna finish this up, and yeah. I honestly would feel bad for the wildlife that has to live in this monstrosity. But, you know, it gets the point off. So, we have a bit of a weeping willow. We have trapdoors of whatever tree you're using. So, if you're using dark oak, use dark oak. If you're not, now, spruce for oak. Because it's not gonna look right if you use a normal spruce. And same thing for, actually just don't make root systems for or anything with trapdoors for a birch tree. But if you choose to make a birch tree, then you shouldn't be watching this video. But there's everything wrong with birch trees. There's zebras. But anyhow, you can use dark oak trapdoors or whatever wood to make little root systems. If you look at a tree, they always have these little root systems coming right off the tree, kind of plopping up everywhere, kind of coming up for a little bit before they get back down all the way under the soil. So yeah, that concludes, I lost count, it's 1, 2, 3, wait, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, it's 5. So, on to the 6th. Okay, for 6th, kind of going off here. This one is more of a preference kind of thing. So for this one, we're doing walls. Now, this looks good. This would be acceptable in any Minecraft base. It's completely fine to have something like that. But there's always a different option there, and the path sign, that looks good. But you could always do like a beaten down little kind of little thing like that. Not exactly my best work right here. Oof. That is not my best work at all, but you kind of get the point. And rather than doing a wall, you could do a little tiny broken down type thing like that. Oh my goodness, that's horrific. Woof. Woof. Goodness me, that is bad. Well, I'm sorry for blinding you with this piece of garbage, but at least you get the point here. It's, it's one of those things you could make like a broken down wall for this. Now, I would never use like an actual wall for like an, a crop farm, but I would for a path. Now, again, this is one of those things you can choose to do it. So, that concludes our 6th. Okay, for our 7th, we are just gonna point out here. This is kind of, I mean, this base is still looking very cube-like. I mean, it's starting to liven up and look very detailed, but it's not exactly what I would call a base yet. Now, there's nothing wrong with a rectangular house. I mean, there's always a place and a time for it, but what I think really needs to happen is, no, that isn't going to be fun. That's not going to be fun at all. We're just going to do that, and whatever, this is just not, we're going to redo the windows later, but right now, we're just going to do that. So, come out as many blocks as we want for this little section. I'm going to come out 6. And then come up. We want to go slightly lower, so probably around there. Okay, so the leafage has to come back a little bit there. But now, and actually, again, a little bonus tip here. I would suggest when you're doing something like that, you can change up the wall that you're doing. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do, so I know I'm going to do some cobbled deep slate there, and then we'll do whatever, we'll do bricks. So, actually right here would be bricks. Same thing with that. So we'll go bricks all the way out to there. Then we'll do our cobbled deep slate as our end block. Now again, the end block is not necessarily necessary, but it just kind of adds something in. Normally it looks pretty good. So make sure you got that little point like that. If you don't, I mean, it's not going to do too much, but it adds some depth. For sure. And again, make sure that you're getting the right blocks. Making sure that it transitions neatly into your main part of your build. Now, you could also do a tower. I often do a tower, but, you know, it really depends, again, on preference. And then here's another tricky one. So you could do, there's many options, so I'm going to show you all of them. So, one of them is to just slab it all up with deep slate. One of them is to slab it up with brick. You get the idea by just doing that. And then there's also the option of either brick or deep slate. I'm going to do brick. And then get something like an anvil or an iron bar and just do something like this. It costs a lot, but it can do a lot. I forget if you can do that. No, it doesn't look as good. You could, but in this situation, no, it doesn't really look as good as just doing something like deep slate. And actually, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the deep slate. And there's that section done. Oh, no, it isn't. So, could have done it as a balcony, but we're going to do it with the walls like this. I get used to talking while building, so I'm not just like ignoring you the whole time. Oh, right here, make sure your log block, to make sure you continue that beam. So here's another spot right here. I don't think I'm gonna continue the leafage. Honestly, that leafage is probably a bit extreme. Glass. I'm actually gonna do white tinted glass. Oh, that actually does not appear correctly. Then I'm just gonna do glass. I didn't really, oh yes, I did count that. It should all work there. Why do I see that as a face? And the little hair, 2 eyes. Okay, once we get the spruce trapdoor, podzol, and a fern. So we'll do this. Okay, and then you can just add in the mixture of plants that you want. The gardener was not the best. He added it. He killed something. There we go. So I'm gonna get to you on the next one. I am forgetting what the count was. I believe that was the 6th one, so that was our 7th. So I'll see you on the 8th. So we're doing 8 and 9 here. So we have the hay bales to add, and like decorations, farming stuff, just to add a bit of extra detail, to add some life. Know that these people who live here have lives. And then also, the main one is adding little things with the campfires, extinguished campfires. If you don't know how to do that, it's just a shovel. Or I believe you can you use splash water bottles? What's that even called? I thought it was splash potion. Yeah, it is. Why was that? No, it does not. That is the mundane potion, but I don't know. I thought the splash... Why did that not come up? Splash... Oh, now it comes up. Splash water bottle. Can you? Okay, you can. So, either one. You can probably cover more ground with the splash water bottle, but I probably wouldn't do that. And then I'm just going to hop straight into the next one because it's straight into number 10. Just add some little detail with adding little things like that to the side of all of your beams. It adds a ton, and then you can also then add some of that. Not some of that, you definitely should if you want it to look correct, but you really add some extra detail there. For this one, you can just do that. Now for this one, there's some vines, but nevertheless, you can still just do that. And there you go. So on the next one, number 11, we're gonna do our last outside one, and then we're moving indoors. But first, get a little bit more growth out here. You can't just allow it to go like that. Okay. See you in number 11. For number 11, it's just adding some berry bushes. It doesn't matter if there's berries on them. But you gotta have them. It just looks so nice. Adds so much there. And you know what? We're nice. Let's add a little window as well. Just add a bit there. And you know what? We're gonna get an extra. Trapdoors. Little shutters. Now actually, I want to see how dark oak looks. Might look better. Yeah. You can use whatever you want for that though. Okay. Now for number 12, we're officially moving inside. I'm going to do the floor. I don't think you really need to know that. It's just wood or whatever you're using for the floor. For our number 12, we add some little beams. So this will kind of cover up whatever is up there. If you don't want to build an upstairs or just build a straight roof, it absolutely works wonderfully. And if you wanted to add some curve to it, then you just get the corresponding slabbing trapdoor and just do that. But I'm not going to because of window placement. And we're going to move straight into the next one here, number 13. So for our 13th tip, we have a separate room here. This is the room that we built here. In a separate little thing. This is going to be our bedroom. And this room, we did a bit of a carpet, purple and orange. Surprisingly great combination. They have a, you can see here, we put the one wool here, and then we have the actual carpet, which is like a pixel, I think. It's 1 pixel. 1 pixel of a block there that's above the other. Oh, forgot about that. Magenta wool. But has a little bit of a divot, kind of making it messy. We have the bookcase. Oh, greatest thing. Exhalia in a pot. Red bed. Because why not? Mojang, you gave us colored beds. No one actually used them. So, if I'm doing a modern build, I'll always use a gray bed rather than a red bed. So I will see you in the 14th. Oh no, it's the campfire again. Old reliable. Trapdoor. Door. Oh god. Why is my caps lock on? Okay. So, I'm not actually sure. It's been a thing, but I'm not actually sure that many people know of this. So you can actually extinguish campfires and still put food on them. So if I look up pork chop, like I can put that on there as like a type of meat storage container, and then maybe beef. I can get a bit of beef on there. chicken, and a potato. Okay, and then there we go. And then also, I guess if you're gonna be building some sort of like kitchen there, you also have to do that. And for number 15 to finish us off, we have the cabinets, which I put on backwards. Cabinets, okay. So you open them up, there's a barrel. Great thing for cabinets, store food, store junk, store whatever you want really in there. So you can put stuff like that in that little section. And again, if you need to light this area up, then just, you know, actually, yeah, lanterns for the ceiling, also great use for the beams, but candles would be great, like a candle. I need some steel and scaffolding. I have a hole in the scaffolding, so it's better to look at, but that doesn't exactly make it good for building. And then get a chair. Why is petrified oak still in this game? I don't understand. Like, Minecraft, why? What is the point? Who is ever using petrified oak? Probably half the people here just don't know what that is, and all the Bedrock players have no clue. Yes. I'm just gonna ignore you, pressure plate. So, here is the final product. A lot more detail from the beginning. You can go back and look at that. I'm gonna take a screenshot. And yeah. Thanks for watching.